A lot of the focus is going to center on the quarterback position moving forward for the Oklahoma Sooners, as Spencer Rattler is benched for Caleb Williams there in the second half. Of course, Spencer Rattler makes an appearance on a 2-point conversion. But what we're looking at is maybe, quite possibly, a changing of the guard. When asked about it, this is my first question for you, Matt. When asked about it, Lincoln Riley said he would go back and evaluate the Texas film and treat it like any other position, in which he intends to let Rattler and Williams compete for the starting job against TCU. True or false? That's only coach speak.
Well, this is definitely true. I don't know if it's true in the sense that it's only coach speak, but it's definitely coach speak. And this is where Lincoln Riley earns his money. I mean, everybody, it's a glamorous job. He's a young guy. He's an energetic guy. Everybody loves Lincoln Riley, okay? But this is where he really has to earn his keep. And I don't envy the decision that he has to make. Yeah, I do think that there's going to be a competition between Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams. And I think they're both going to play against TCU on Saturday. And I really feel like whoever starts against TCU, that's going to say a whole lot. Whoever comes out there first with the offense. But here's what you have to, again, what I said at the beginning of this podcast is, on the surface, everything looks smooth, but you got to look at what's beneath the surface. And what's beneath the surface is very choppy and very, very confusing and competitive, because there's not a single person who watched that game, whether they're watching from the sidelines as a player, watching from the sidelines as a coach, watching from the stands as a fan, or watching it on television. Not a single person who watched that game can deny the fact that this team played differently when Caleb Williams came in. Their momentum picked up. And by that, their energy, even their nastiness, okay, their attitudes, everything changed when Caleb Williams came in the game. Everything. And things that hadn't worked all season long suddenly begin to work, which is amazing to me to think about it. Everyone's going to be talking about a couple plays from this game for a long time, but that catch that Marvin Mims made, that acrobatic catch, are you kidding me? But how does the vertical passing game suddenly work with Caleb Williams in that quarterback when it hasn't worked through 5 games with Spencer Rattler? So you gotta look at all of these things, okay, all of these factors. And I said in the post-game recap, this is exactly what I said, that I have been hesitant. And if you've listened to this podcast, you know exactly how I voiced my opinion on this matter. I've been hesitant to say that Spencer Rattler should be benched permanently for Caleb Williams. I've been hesitant to say that Caleb Williams is a better option for this offense than Spencer Rattler. And I feel like for 5 weeks, right, I've had legitimate reason to say those things. And I've used that Caleb Williams was only 50% passing against Western Carolina. I used the botched snap against Kansas State. Those are all things. The fact that he's a true freshman, the fact that he didn't get to play his senior year of high school. I've used all of that to try to argue that Spencer Rattler is the better option between these two quarterbacks. But I don't think I can argue that anymore, because the product is on the field, and the can of worms has been opened, the toothpaste is squeezed out of the toothpaste tube. You know what I'm saying? You can't put it all back. It's out there. Everybody's seen it. Everybody saw this team rally around Caleb Williams. I was watching the game with my wife, and I exactly what I said to her was, I haven't seen a team on both sides of the ball rally around a quarterback like this in Norman since Baker Mayfield was on the sidelines. And we talked about the students chanting, "We want Caleb," at the West Virginia game. And one of the things that I said was that in that moment, that clearly Caleb Williams is more popular amongst the student body than Spencer Rattler is. But now, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think the evidence is there. Again, it's all out there. Just look at it. All you got to do is open your eyes and look at it. Caleb Williams is more popular amongst his teammates than Spencer Rattler is. And these are all things that are undeniable. And if you remove the only thing Spencer Rattler had going for him was he was the best option. He was the best chance to win this game. He was the best chance to get into the playoffs. Spencer Rattler was the best chance. He was the Heisman frontrunner. You can't argue any of that anymore because they were down 28-7. Caleb Williams, the very first touch he gets in this game is a 66-yard touchdown that he ran, by the way. Didn't even throw it. I'm just gonna guess here, okay? So someone can, because you guys are really good at doing this. Someone go back and actually fact check this and let me know. But just going off my memory of what I saw in the game, and I watched all of it, I'm willing to bet there were. I said on Thursday night that Oklahoma would have 4 offensive plays of 30 yards or more. Clearly, they exceeded that. But I think there were more big plays in this game. In this one game, there are more big plays. And let's define a big play as being, 30 yards plus? There are more big plays in this game than you saw in the entire first 5 games of the season. If that's not true, it certainly felt that way. And that's because of Caleb Williams. And so now if you're Lincoln Riley, you've got this incredible decision you got to make. And kudos to Lincoln Riley, because I think there's a lot of coaches that would have just said in that post game at some point, yep, Caleb's our guy now. I mean, he won the game, different team with him. Clearly he's the guy. I saw some things about, and I didn't see this with my own eyes, so I can't really talk to it, but there were some things on social media about how Spencer Rattler kind of didn't really respond well to this. And by the way, how crazy is it 2 years in a row against Texas he gets benched? All that said, the best chance to win now, how can you make an argument for anybody other than Caleb Williams? The best chance to make this offense flow, how can you make an argument for anybody other than Caleb Williams? The script has flipped, and it all goes back to this. 90,000 people in the Cotton Bowl saw it, and how many millions watching on TV saw it? If you're Lincoln Riley, and you go back to Spencer Rattler, and this offense stutters and peters out, I'm not saying it's going to be a coach killer, but it's the first legitimate opportunity that Lincoln Riley has had to be heavily criticized. Every coach is criticized. I mean, come on, we criticize Lincoln Riley for his smoked brisket, okay? Every coach is criticized. But this would be the actual first time he should legitimately be criticized. And so, yeah, he's got to play it because I think you weigh the options here, okay? Whichever way you go with this quarterback situation moving forward, whichever way you go with it, it's gonna leave a mark, okay? It's gonna leave a mark on your team one way or the other. The question is, which leaves the biggest mark? So let's say Lincoln Riley goes with Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams is the new starting quarterback. Here's the mark that's going to leave on the team. Spencer Rattler, most likely in the transfer portal. That's the mark. I would be willing to say it's probably a guarantee he's in the transfer portal, which is okay. All right, it's okay. That's the way it goes. When we went into the transfer portal era, we knew this kind of stuff was happening. But that's the mark, okay? That's what's going to happen. But if you go back to Spencer Rattler, do you really want to risk at this point? Do you want to risk Caleb Williams going in the transfer portal? The guy's the hero. You don't throw the hero under the bus. He literally saved the day, and in doing so, he saved the season. This is a team that's ranked 4th nationally, not because of Spencer Rattler. They're ranked 4th nationally because of Caleb Williams. So do you throw the hero under the bus? No way. No way. If you're legitimately thinking about this and you have the chance to lose one of these quarterbacks and keep one of these quarterbacks, 100%, the guy you keep in this situation is Caleb Williams. But let's take it another step further, because I talked about how the team rallied to Caleb Williams. Lincoln Riley, I mean, he's got to walk a tightrope here. He makes the wrong decision, he could lose his team. And that goes into how these guys play on Saturday. If he makes the TCU game an audition, that scares me as a fan. Definitely would scare me as a person who handicaps the game, because the team knows who they want. And so they're going to play for the guy that they want. So that means there could be some wasted possessions. There could be some wasted opportunities out there. If the guy that they want is under center, then this offense is going to hump. The guy that they don't want, there's going to be some problems. And TCU is just that team that if you just mess around, they're going to make it hurt, and they're going to be dangerous. So, yeah, I think it's true. I didn't mean to talk 10 minutes about the first question, but I definitely think it's true. And then from there, where do you go? I mean, I guess we'll find out Saturday, but it's definitely going to be an interesting week of practice in North.